Last year I was working on a project in my garage, and as I was working on this project, I looked around the garage and I just hated everything. It was the disorganization, what the state of the garage was just needed to change. And in spite of the busyness of the schedule, I couldn't let it go on anymore. I tore everything off of the walls, pulled everything out of the garage, and just started over and reorganized the entire garage. And there are times in our lives where you just look around and you know that things cannot continue forward as they are. Things need to change. Have you ever needed a game changer to come in and just reorganize and reset, reprioritize what's going on so that you can move effectively into the future? I want to read you a piece of a prayer. You see, there's a kind of prayer that's a game changer prayer in the time of quarantine. And you and I know that prayer changes things. So if things need to change, let's take a look at game-changing prayer in a time of quarantine and trouble. In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the depths of the grave, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. You hurled me into the deep, into the very heart of the seas, and the currents swirled about me. All your waves and breakers swept over me. I said, I have been banished from your sight. Yet I will look again toward your holy temple. You see, the man praying this was feeling quarantined. He was isolated, and he was calling out to God. The deep surrounded me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. To the roots of the mountains I sank down. The earth beneath barred me in forever. But you brought my life up from the pit. Oh Lord, my God, when my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. Those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. But I, with a song of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will make good. Salvation comes from the Lord. You see, in this prayer was prayed by a prophet by the name of Jonah. Maybe you're familiar with this story, but in the story, God is speaking to his prophet. He says, I want you to go to this wicked city of people who don't know me. They are worshiping idols. They are doing horrible, horrible things. And I want you to bring a message to them of me. I want you to reveal me to them, because I have to deal with the wickedness, and I want to give them an opportunity. And the prophet Jonah puts his own emotions, his own reason, his own will above the throne and the command of God here in this moment. And he says, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't like these people. They don't deserve that opportunity. I'm going to go do something else. And so now in the story, there's no good guys here. The wicked people are just continuing on with their ignorance and their wickedness and idolatry. And the prophet, who actually does know and hear from God, is also in a state of sin and rebellion. Now there's no good guys left except for God. And what happens now? The prophet is put into a place of quarantine, if you don't mind me using that term in this story, until there's a change of heart. See, everybody in the story now, except for God, is hearing from God a message of repentance. See, things need a reset for everybody in the situation. And the prophet responds. And later on in the story, the people of Nineveh respond. Everybody, the good news here in the story is everybody is hearing from God, and everybody is responding, and things change. Things changed for that prophet. Things changed for the people of Nineveh. It was game-changing prayer that turned the course of the events into a positive direction. Now, I've mentioned earlier in other videos here a time when I was in a place of quarantine and isolation in a hospital in Connecticut. And I just want to revisit this story with you. It was one that I was reading in that hospital bed in a moment when I was literally in a place of quarantine and isolation. I want to tell you that the prayers of repentance and returning to God that I prayed in that hospital were a game-changing moment in my life. Let's take this opportunity right now, today, to call upon the one who will respond and change the course of events when we simply come to him in humility and honesty and repentance. Because the most beautiful treasure that we could receive today, moving forward, is to know the God of holiness and beauty and justice and mercy. Call on him today, and we will see things change moving forward. God bless you.